destination filters. What are they? When should you use them? How do you use them? And how can you use them to maximize your tax refund? All right. There's a lot of information in this, and this is super exciting. I actually re-recorded this video because some new information has just come out that I want to share with you. Now, destination filter can also be reworded as something called a, maybe directional filter. So let's say we're in Minneapolis, but you live in Little Canada. Let's just say Little Canada because that's a fun place. Little Canada. And you want to go to Little Canada in the next couple hours. Right now it's 5:15 p.m. For some reason, the phone says 9:41 always. But we need to get to Little Canada by 7 p.m. Now, something that Uber has added is they've increased their amount of trips you can do this with. Now, it's kind of confusing because I'm kind of throwing you right in this, but in the past, they gave you a limitation to how many rides you can take using this filter. Okay, now it's up to 6, which is great. Lyft is unlimited. Now, you can also add an arrival time. So let's say by 7 o'clock, you want to be in Little Canada, or let's say even 6:30. And you also want to be in, so we're going to put Little Canada. So what's going to happen is it's going to put you online, and every ride that is not towards Little Canada will now be vetted. Okay? I want to be there by 6:30. So it's going to focus on only rides that are going to be within that time frame. They're not going to give me a ride that's going to take me all the way far out, and it's going to be really, really long. So it's going to be shorter rides, which is a really, really nice, helpful thing, because let's say you only had a certain amount of time budgeted and you want to be home to be with your kids or so forth, and it's working within your time zones, okay? So let me clarify this more. Directional filter, meaning that it's not going to be a ride over to here, to Terminal 1, to Lindbergh, into the airport. It's going to be only rides towards Little Canada. However, that may mean that you have to go backwards a little just for a few miles, maybe to pick someone up, then to drive all the way over to Little Canada. So this is a really, really helpful thing, especially if you're trying to go back to a hot spot and you want to make sure you're not going to get any rides that are going to push you away. But it's also helpful if you are trying to end your shift and go home and you want to catch maybe a couple rides so you don't have any dead miles. So let me give you an example. Let's say you get a ride all the way out to Chaska, which is very far. And and all the action is downtown, which that's typically true for most markets. But you want to make sure you get some miles back. You want to get paid. You don't want to just drop someone off at Chaska and not get any rides back. And so instead of keeping your app on and perhaps getting a ride over to Wacona, or maybe take you out to Louisville. There's a Louisville, Minnesota. What in the world? That doesn't make any sense. Okay, what it does is you're saying, I will only take rides towards here. And so let's say, but what's going to be most the case, you're not going to get a ride all the way back to Minneapolis. Often you're going to get a ride maybe from Chaska to Shakopee, and then maybe Shakopee over to Minnetonka to St. Louis Park. And you can eventually, if you have it long enough and you have the patience and the time, to make your way back to where you want to go. Really, really helpful. Now, I turn this off. Let's go to Lyft. Lyft has a similar thing. Top right, set a destination. Let's use Little Canada, just be consistent. It's around here. Set destination, and then boom. It's showing only those places. So I talked about what a destination filter, how to use it, but also want to talk to you about a tax deductible option. So let's say, I'm going to turn it off because I don't want to reject anyone. Let's go back to Uber just to show it. Let's say you are going to somewhere during the week where there's less traffic, less opportunities. Let me give you a personal example. I play basketball over here in Shoreview, okay, up here. I live down here. Not a lot of people go all the way up here, especially in the middle of the day, because basketball is during noontime. I will often set my destination filter over to Shoreview, knowing that I'm not going to get a ride, and I'm going to pick the less busy app for your market. And for mine, it's Lyft, not by much, but in most markets it's going to be Lyft. And I'm going to set that destination over to Shoreview, and knowing that I'm probably not going to get a ride. And what that's going to give me the opportunity is I'm going to tax deduct every one of those miles. I'm going to turn on My IQ or Stride Drive, and I'm going to deduct those. But let's say I get a ride, I will take them. And I will make sure I budget enough time so that I can actually pick up people, which is a really good thing. Is now I don't have to think about that anymore and risk. I can actually set these little timers right here, okay, which is really, really a blessing. So that is a destination filter. Use it to your benefit. It is a great opportunity. Use it multiple times, maybe even in the morning. Here's an advanced strategy. In the morning, you can set destination filters to the airports. Now, it won't work perfectly, but it will heighten your chance, and maybe you'll pick up ones just to go to the airport. And so you know those are going to be more profitable and have a lot of great opportunities there. So that's destination filter. Hope you learned something. Hopefully this was helpful. Utilize this to maximize your time and your income.